Good fucking morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Proof of Person. Happy fucking Tuesday. Today we have Ken with us, CEO and founder of Wire Network, as our main guest for episode 47. Ken, thank you for joining the show. How are you doing today? How's everything?
Thanks for having me. I'm having a great day.
Awesome, man. So much to talk about, so much to learn about Wire today. It's going to be a great show. Super excited. For anyone joining early, thank you for being here. We're live on X, YouTube, Abstract, Kick, and Twitch. Make sure to like, comment, retweet the stream. It's going to be a great one. So much to learn and talk about the Wire Network. Ken, before we go all into what you guys are building, do you mind doing a quick TLDR and background about you and when and how you joined the Web3?
Yeah, for sure. So it's been a while. I was finance background. I was trading silver, gold, oil futures in the mid 2000s. Got to witness the financial crisis. As it was happening, as I was imploding, and that really gave me. I went from fiscally conservative at that point to once the banks were getting bailed out and trillions were being just printed out of thin air. To me, it was not a matter of an if, but a when the new system would be implemented. And I didn't know if that was going to be in a day or a few decades, but I knew that current system needed to be replaced. So that's why I was just stacking precious metals at that point, silver, gold, platinum, like actually taking delivery of the physical, because I didn't believe in the US dollar. And, that's been going on since the 70s, has been like this slow diminish in the purchasing power. And then caught wind of Bitcoin and got in around 2013, early 2013. And when I saw it, I was like, this makes complete sense. This is just the digital version of an asset class that I already love. And so at that point, it was like, well, who's going to win? Which is the fastest horse in that stable? It's like, well, you don't pick the winner, you just buy all of them, right? So I diversified, from going strictly precious metals into owning digital assets as well. And then I was, building dApps and other things 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, all the way through, just little things here and there. And then it got to be 2020 and I looked at everything from a comprehensive standpoint, which was we're being told that this is the future of finance, Web3. And I was like, well, I come from the traditional market, and to me, there's an infrastructure problem that's not allowing us. We're going to be the future of finance eventually, but that's only after you create the infrastructure that allows that to occur. And what I was seeing is, if you look at the stock market from your Schwab or Fidelity account or Robinhood, you can buy whatever stock you want, whether it originated, in a stock market in Australia or Japan or China or Germany or the US, from one AKA wallet, from your Schwab or Fidelity, which is your wallet. You're able to buy whatever you want. It doesn't matter where it lives. And I looked at our industry and it's like, well, there's Ethereum, there's Solana, there's Cardano, there's Hedera, there's Polkadot, there's all these different types of chains, and they're all siloed. I have to go get a wallet for every single one and get a new address. And then what happens if I want to take, if I have liquidity on one chain and I want to go to the other, how does that work? I already knew because we were in the industry. I'm just identifying the problem for the viewers here. Is we have an infrastructure problem. We need to have something that allows us to interact like the world stock market. We're not recreating the wheel here. We're just decentralizing everything. And so that's the hard part. and that's what I set out to fix, from 2020 until today.
Yeah, no, wow, such an interesting story as well. And if you joined BTC in 2013, I hope you didn't sell back then, and you did recently. But even though the climb is so difficult to maintain, obviously, and if you were holding gold and silver, I mean, I don't know how much you held to the last pump a few months ago, but if you did, then you were definitely cooking there as well. But yeah, you definitely saw a big opportunity very early, and then you transitioned to building wire network. When did the vision, or like, I mean, you saw the opportunity in the infrastructure and change that was needed? Like, which years is? I think I saw a tweet that you started 2020 or a little bit before.
Yeah, so I figured it out in 2020, which was, I knew that there was not just an asset silo, but liquidity. Liquidity is what makes the stock market work. Like the reason that what a share of Tesla is actually worth is because the world's able to buy it. It doesn't matter what currency, it doesn't matter where you live, anyone can buy a share of Tesla. So now you have that supply and demand, that efficiency is perfect, because if everyone has universal access to it, then you actually know what something is worth. And so that's what I saw in 2020. And then, we looked at what was on the shelf, like what were people doing that was solving this problem? And just how my mind works, I like solving the problem. Like I like solving the actual problem, like in a future-proof way. I'm not the type that's gonna, do something that is just a Band-Aid, on a problem or patchwork. It's like, how do we really have infrastructure that can scale, be secure, and be there for the next 10 years, right? And no one was doing it. And so bridging and the technology that we've been using the past few years, it was just the best technology that could be developed at the time. You have to stair step technology up. You just can't go from no cell phone to mobile. There were telephone lines for years. Like you have to just incrementally get there. So bridging was just the best that this industry could do to solve, like, how do I get an asset from one chain to another? But it wasn't the future-proof solution. That comes afterwards. And so that's what I saw, is like everyone's trying to build this, like, how quickly can I get a solution to market, even if it has a lot of vulnerability or dependencies. It's like, how do we build something that's completely trustless, that solves the problem, that can be used in the future? And with wire network, like, I didn't see anybody else doing that. So that was the opportunity. It's like, we're going to shoot for the moon because it's the hardest problem to solve, right? And if we get there, we're the only company that's on the moon at that point, because we're the only ones that put years of R&D into this to solve it. And we got there. And so that's what you're going to be seeing here later this year.
So exciting. Yeah. And I mean, you had this amazing idea and like an ambition to quickly solve it as well. But like everyone knows that it's very hard to do it by yourself. Like, how did you start building that team? Did you already have that network? I've seen you in many tweets going on IRL events, NYC recently as well with this photo. Is this part of the team? If you can tell us more on the how did that connect and started building into Wire to what it is today? Especially from your background. I mean, everybody seems on the posts that I see on Twitter, like everyone seems extremely tech savvy and like full of developers and like you're trying to simplify all of the concepts, but keeping it in a very high level as well and advanced vocabulary, which we'll try to simplify as well during the show for everyone here. But yeah, how did the whole connection with the team started and then transition to today?
Well, you piece it together, right? Like you do it one step at a time. And so when I originally started out with this idea, like I had a development team that just was not capable of achieving the goal. And so I went with my first investor, and I'm like, we need to go find a team that has the capability of executing on this vision. Yeah. And because it takes a special type of group, like everybody in this industry understands the problem. Like everyone knows that we have an interoperability problem, right? And if you could just throw $100 million at this and solve it, people have, like, companies have that war chest. Like Ethereum has that war chest. If there was just like, I can just pay and get this, it would have already been done. But that's not the issue at hand. It takes, you have to figure out the way to do it. And if you're going to do it properly, you have to be all encompassing. So Ethereum is different than Solana, like the actual blockchain itself, right? Yep. Ethereum is different than Solana. Solana is different than Polkadot. Polkadot's different than Hedera. Hedera is different than Cardano. Like you have all these different types of chains. So you can't force an apple tree to grow an orange, right? Like it doesn't work that way in reverse. So you have to find a way to be able to transact the apple and the orange and the pear and everything else that, of all these different types of chains. And so I went out and I had to find somebody who had the technical capability of understanding what I wanted to do and also be able to create the infrastructure that allows that. And so I went and did a lot of interviews, and then I flew down to Florida because there was a development company there, and the head guy's name was Kyle Dolan. And as soon as I met him, we whiteboarded for like the next 3 days. And we were completely aligned on absolutely everything from ethos. He was mining Ethereum. He was into Bitcoin early. And we really loved the ethos of Bitcoin, which is we are in a, TradFi is what we call Web 2. And TradFi, like that is a centralized system. Web 3 and DeFi, it is a decentralized system, and there's great attributes to once you decentralize finance. But you have to go all the way, which is like you can't have any point of centralization, or you're no different than where we came from. So it's like, how do you be 100% trustless? Like I don't want to trust the banks. Like I don't want to trust JP Morgan. I don't want to trust, anything. So in this new environment, like I don't want people to trust wire. Like I want to create a trustless infrastructure, a trustless protocol that allows people to just function and do what they need to do. And when I met Kyle, he had the same ethos. He's like, yeah, that's exactly what we should be doing. And also he's absolutely brilliant. So, I made him my CTO, co-founder of the company. And we built a team around the two of us that achieved our goals. And so, we brought on some great people. Will Little's my COO. He was the managing director. He is the managing director of Proto Ventures. So they normally write $100,000 to $300,000 checks, and they invested in companies that were actually like Figment, that were creating all these multiple chains. So he got a unicorn from Figment as he was investing. So he understands the problem. Like he's like, I helped create all these chains with my investment. Now we have a fragmentation problem. And so they usually only write like, 1 to 300,000. Once he understood what we were doing and what we've developed, they came in for like over $4 million. Just because he understands like how big the solution is. And then he was like, what else do you need? And I'm like, I need to grow the team. And so he jumped on as my chief operating officer as well. So these are the kind of people, the people who actually understand, like from a technological perspective, and they see that what we've done, it makes complete sense to them. And they're like, this is going to be, the next generation. This is like the quantum leap in functionality in our industry. And they want to get more involved.
Yeah, no, it's really the next level of everything we're in right now, and where it's obviously leading to. I don't think anyone is building it, and you guys decided to start a few years ago. And how important that is of finding the right person that is delusionally motivated with you and in the same vision, very aligned. And it's pivotal, right, for the success of the team and the company. So shout out to Kyle. Kudos. And yeah, building that team, and anyone with money on the side, or like can understand the vision in or outside the team, and can clearly see that this is going to be massive. But yeah, beside, like, for anyone wondering it from the audience, like in simple words, you have the cross chain bridging that you are transitioning from that friction that we have currently. Obviously, the infrastructure, the seamless experience. Like, how can you simply, like, as simple as possible, describe it? Even though you kind of already did in multiple ways. In one phrase, how would you describe it to someone listening?
Yeah, well, we're calling it a universal transaction layer, but it's essentially an L1 with other protocols, like all embedded, like stacked properly. And so what you're going to get is you're going to be able to integrate once, and you're going to be able to reach assets on every supported chain with no bridging. And we do that because we realize, like, the asset should never leave the chain of origin. Only the ownership needs to be abstracted in this new settlement layer. And so if you're like, I always go back because I'm from a Web 2 environment. Like, I'm old enough that I was here pre-crypto.
Yeah.
It's like a title company for digital assets. So like when you buy a house, right? Like, you don't come with a backhoe and just dig up the entire house and like move it wherever you want. Like, that's not how you show ownership. You show ownership, the title. You own the piece of paper, the title of that asset that says, I own this house, right? Like, no matter where it stays. And that's what we've done. Again, like, we're not recreating the wheel here. Like, it's not magic fairy dust. It's just like, we have to decentralize the old system in a way that makes sense for this new paradigm. And so, that deed is the authoritative record of who owns what. And now you can change values without having to go like across these different chains. So, everywhere else, like, moves or wraps asset across bridges, we are moving the proof of ownership of that asset. So it never has to leave the security of the Ethereum network or the security of the Solana network. Like, those, Ethereum's not getting hacked, right? Like, Solana's not getting hacked. It's the bridging that's getting hacked, because you have to trust that intermediary, because again, it's an apple and an orange tree. Yep. And now you have to trust this intermediary that doesn't have the security of the main chains. Like, we've removed that vulnerability.
Yeah, it's such an amazing process. And as well, I think I saw on the website or one of the tweets, like, the user shouldn't have the anxiety of like if the bridge is going to work or not, or if the funds are safe or not, or like, if it's going to get to the other side. And it's as pivotal and as important as any daily transaction. And we still don't have this after how many years in crypto and blockchain, right? So, I mean,
yeah, well, people think that we've been here forever. Like, it's still new. Like, this is new infrastructure. Like, I talk about it as far as like the early internet. It took 10 years for one computer to talk to another computer. like in the very beginning, like, the first email was on one computer. Like, you would log in, you would write your email on one computer, you would log out, and then I'd have to come into that same computer, and then I would have to log in, and then I could read the email that you sent me. It took 10 years for the infrastructure to allow my computer to talk to your computer. And so, like, people are they're wanting this infrastructure to be, moving at a great pace. And I think it is. It's just, you have to have a frame of reference. Like, this is a really, decentralizing things is extremely difficult. It's essentially the holy grail to be able to decentralize things in a trustless manner. And so, yeah, we're getting there, but it feels slow. But in some aspects, like, we've moved at a tremendous speed as an industry.
Yeah, no, and now with how fast and how quick AI is accelerating as well, like, we're moving at light speed. And you guys have a whole core into the AI in the agentic economy, which we will get in a second. But also, well, I wanted to touch up real quick on this, on the you guys are building and going cross chain, but also not only on daily transactions or financial sector, but also on everything, on games, on the apps, on DeFi. Like you guys are connecting everything, and you have mainnet. Well, I think I saw this summer. Like you guys are working like crazy. Is the deadline? Is the timeline still pushing towards Q3, or are you like? I mean, you guys have been building for a while now, so just curious on how everything is going as well on the back end.
Yeah, I mean the tech's there. That's the other thing. This isn't up high in the sky. Like we'll get there in a couple of years. Like we've been building this for 5.5 years. So we've solved the problem. The tech's there. There is no like something that we have to figure out. We're in launch mode right now. So this industry is going to see universal trustless interoperability this summer and early fall.
Man, it's gonna pretty much change everything. I was looking as well at this tweet that you shared from the manifesto from 2024 of your core values and like the alignment you have with the team, and like how other companies are not, if they're not in that same ethos, they're gonna keep falling and have been hacked. And we have had so many DeFi exploits as well lately. Like it's just interconnects into the opposite of the spectrum that you guys are in. So kudos.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really early on things normally. And so that paper that we wrote, that was the core, thesis of that was only trustless and decentralized systems are going to survive. And we're seeing that now. Like it is the centralization and that is the vulnerability like inside of these systems. And so with AI, like it's being utilized as an attack vector. Like it's able to go and like penetrate and try and find the vulnerabilities. And so now we're in this industry where it has to be secure. Like there cannot be any vulnerabilities. Like we don't have FDIC insurance like the traditional banking system. Like all we have is how secure is your code. And so now it's either the cream is going to rise to the top, which is you either build your system properly, you either build it in a trustless and decentralized way and the code is hardened, or you're going to get it's just a honeypot waiting to be drained. And so fortunately for us, like we're removing that vulnerability and allowing, initially I thought the universal transaction layer was going to be all about, or like the marketing of it was going to be about the universality of it.
Yep.
But in the past, 6 months, it's become obvious that it's the security of it that's going to be, what grabs everyone's attention, and then the universality of it. But we need to harden this system, like this industry, before we can move forward.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I haven't heard honeypot in a while. Like that's a very 2021 or earlier keyword there, bringing back the PTSD, unfortunately. But yeah, you're completely right. And maybe an angle as well that many people haven't thought about. Mainly, well, when I researched and did everything about Wired previous to this stream, like mainly was thinking bridging between currencies, tokens, and chains, but also like in this post that you guys met by Gary Vee, and you said something that's like universal NFTs. Like you don't need to be changing change to be able to trade. That would be huge. And like especially now that NFTs are a little bit back, and like we love that euphoria and that momentum. We're not fully back like in 2021, but like just the idea of like not having to swap chains to trade or to do anything else, it's insane. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's going to be the easiest way to showcase it. Is like everybody knows that a Bored Ape is on Ethereum, right? Like everyone knows that the CryptoPunks are on Ethereum. Those aren't going to matter anymore. Like those are going to be, we're retroactively making those. It's reverse compatible. So those are going to be universal assets. Meaning
wherever
it doesn't
you have
matter.
Liquidity, yeah.
Exactly.
Trade them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so it's going to be the same thing with swaps. It's going to be the same thing with NFTs, like gaming changes, like all these. I've been in the industry, I participated in the NFT bull market, DeFi summer, like all the things in the past. And, gas got so high on Ethereum that companies who started out, they launched an NFT project on Ethereum mainnet, and then they had to launch other assets because they were trying to build a game or something like that. And so it got so expensive that they would launch on Polygon, right? And then Solana came around, and they would launch on Solana. So now you're a Web3 gaming company that has assets on Ethereum, on Polygon, and on Solana, and those things aren't compatible with each other. So like we're going to be able to, for those kind of companies, because we're reverse compatible, we're going to just be able to make all of those universal assets. And it doesn't matter where their home base is. When they come up into our universal transaction layer, every asset looks the exact same and it functions the exact same. Every user, it doesn't matter where they come from. So now you can start building these seamless products, and we can get to what I call a Web 2 experience in Web 3. Like once you solve interoperability and the fragmentation problem, now it'll look like, or it'll feel like when you participate like on an app from the Apple Store. Like you don't know how it was built, right? You don't know the architecture that was used. It's just like you come in, you log in, and you start playing. We're going to start seeing that in Web3 now.
Man, so excited. Are you guys planning on also doing a marketplace like for NFT trading, or will you just integrate it into the current ones? Like what's the plan? I don't know how much you guys have thought about NFTs. I'm sure you have, but if you can share the alpha, go ahead.
Well, you have to think about us like infrastructure. We're the piping. So like, what does this industry look like? Wire network is not going to be like in the bright shining lights. What the industry is going to look like is all the current leaders are going to still be the leaders in their particular category. They're just going to have increased functionality. So when you go to like, OpenSea, and you're like, how does it have every asset from every chain available to trade? It's going to be because they added in wire networks architecture. Or if you go to like Uniswap, right? And you're like, Uniswap's an Ethereum based swap. And you're like, how am I able to trade? How am I able to do like a Cardano Hedera swap, which isn't even like in this industry, it's not even a capability now. There is no Cardano Hedera swap, right? But when Uniswap or these other swaps are able to do that, and someone goes like, how is that even a thing? It's going to be because they added wire networks architecture in. So we just are a plug-in that just puts this entire industry on steroids and gives it full capability. And just like an Intel, like the Intel like an Intel chip or anything else in your computer, we're just going to power what's happening for this entire industry.
That's way clearer. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, clarifying. You were saying as well on these three, like leveling up capabilities and security, reducing costs. Could you share some of the partners that you guys are working with that you're integrated already the wire network towards? I think I saw Yuga already partnered with you guys, but I can't remember where. But yeah, if you can share a few names for people's reference as well, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest Web3 company that has come in and is Yuga. So they've actually bought a node, which we can get to in the future. We can talk about here in a little bit. But they've actually bought and own a piece of our architecture that they're going to be able to utilize. So when I'm telling you that the Bored Apes are going to be universal assets, when I tell you that all the other IP that Yuga has, like those are going to be universal assets. The other side, so their metaverse, like there's going to be AI agents all through that. Those AI agents are going to need to be using on-chain transactions. That's going to be Wire's UTL. Everything else that's happening over there, Ape Chain, right? They're going to be able to plug Ape Chain into the UTL and give their users a different experience. And so that's probably like the big headline one that everyone knows, but we have over 50 to 60 partnerships right now, and most of them are in decentralized AI because they understand what the architecture is going to do for these AI agents, and they want to get in and get in at the ground level of this infrastructure and build their agents for those capabilities, because that's how the amount of on-chain transactions are going to hockey stick once as these agents come online, and they're going to need universal liquidity. They're going to need a universal address, so they don't have to build an agent for every chain. They just have one agent with one address that is able to transact unlimited times.
Yeah, no, and there's so much liquidity on Ape, or there was. I think there still is, but that opportunity to bridge and not to bridge and just use it wherever you want, whenever, it's massive as well. You're mentioning about the nodes. This is from January when you were launching the LCO, which we can get as well in a minute. Yeah, do you want to share more about what the equity in the nodes that you were just saying about?
Yeah, so everything we've done has been novel. Like, we took nothing off the shelf. We looked at everything and decided what is needed, like a 360 analysis. Like, is the industry standard the way that we should go, or do we need to modify? And if you look back to like the Ethereum ICO or Solana or any of those, they didn't let you own the network. They let you buy a utility token that could interact with the network. And I thought that we should decentralize the network itself. So Ethereum is 14 TPS, right? Like, they didn't give you a buy button that says, I want to own and control one of the 14 TPS that I could generate revenue off of, or I could use like to do a transaction. That's what we've done. So our universal transaction layer is going to start out at 10,000 universal transactions per second. So it can be used for any chain. And we fractionalized. And so there's 3 different levels of nodes. And so you actually control and own the TPS. So, if you need it, like if you, how do I want to say it? If you have a dApp, you can whitelist your contract and your users can utilize your transactions of the node that you own and give them a free experience. Or you can modify like what the gas should be for your platform. Or if you own a node and you do nothing, then other people are going to be buying that transaction off of you. And now it's a revenue generating opportunity.
Yeah.
And so that's what we've sold over $14 million of these nodes before we've even launched the network. And so Yuga and others have been buying these up.
And then the others, almost 6, was in equity fractionalized, I believe, right? You were saying in that video that I just that we were just displaying.
Yeah, so we've raised 7 million on the equity side. We've sold around 14 million of these nodes, and so I didn't have to do a lot of equity rounds because we were actually selling the architecture. Like, these nodes were supplementing the need to go out into the market and raise equity. But people were still able to participate. Now, even the general public, like if you go to wire.network, you're able to get access to the token ahead of our launch. And then there'll be nodes available again in the future. So you could own, part of the network and generate revenue or utilize it depending on if you have an agent, or even if you have a personal agent, right? Like you'd be able to buy one of these nodes and add it to your agent, and then your agent would be able to do free transactions.
I was just displaying this that you were saying on the website as well. Is this the easiest way for people to get involved, buying the token, buying a node? You can see here the options with Ethereum and Solana. You can stake your Wire token as well. There's so many options in getting involved. Yeah. What's the best one for a daily user? They might be seeing it as such a high scale into getting involved and all these Yuga and other big companies plugging into the architecture and the infrastructure. For any listener that could want to get involved today or tomorrow, is the token the best way to do so?
Yeah, so there's two ways to even get access. So one of them doesn't even require you to risk capital. So if you want to buy the token, then you can use Ethereum, Solana, whatever, and you can go into where you're at right now and just purchase the token before we launch. But that's kind of like, you're giving your capital up for the Wire token. The other aspect that you can do on this site is you can just stake your capital. So if you have Ethereum and Solana and you want to keep it, you just stake it in our system. And just for staking it, so for an example, if you have 100 ETH, you can stake your 100 ETH. It's going to produce Wire token for you as a reward. And at any point that you want to withdraw, like, you get your 100 ETH back plus whatever Wire token that you've been awarded. And it's risk-free. Like, we never take control. Like, you are always in control of your Ethereum. And so the same thing goes for Solana. Like, you can do either one, but you can stake those assets and start generating Wire token. And then in the future, you can use Wire token to potentially buy a node and own part of the network, own the compute.
And when, like, for people wondering, when is TG as well? And can you, even after TG, could you continue staking and earning Wire, or will that be like a before and after?
It is. So the TGE and the network will both be launching this year here in the summer, fall. And yeah, so this mechanism where you're able to stake your Ethereum or Solana for Wire token, that's going to maintain. This isn't like it stops at TGE. This is an ongoing mechanism for us. One of the cool things that we've done is it's called protocol owned liquidity, which is when you're buying the Wire token right now, or you're staking the Ethereum and Solana, it's producing yield. That Ethereum and Solana yield is going to increasing the liquidity pool that anybody can tap into for the token, or for like a DEX or a marketplace. And we're going to continue to build and seed liquidity into this layer that anyone's going to be able to utilize. That's just something else that we felt was appropriate, because normally, like, you do an ICO and it goes to the company and they decide what to do with it, right? Like, they might want to spend it on marketing or give out bonuses or payroll. This LCO is just a twist on an ICO, but the underlying premise is that money coming in should be utilized for the network, not for the company. And so every dollar that comes into this LCO, whether you're buying the token or staking the Ethereum and Solana, on a one-to-one basis, it's adding liquidity to the layer that the users will be able to utilize in the future. So that's just something else that has never been done before that we are doing to de-risk and add value to the network.
Hey, Ken, can you hear me?
He just came back.
Oh, sorry about that, man. I don't know. I lost Wi-Fi for a minute there. So sorry.
No, you're good.
We are still live. Let me just check. We're all good.
It looks like we're still live.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
Your whole system went down, huh?
Yeah, man, like the whole thing, like my whole Wi-Fi, and then I was trying to connect with mobile, but then that wasn't working. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
I think we're back now. I just need to share screen properly. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, we're back. Yeah, you were saying, or what was it about the staking and the yield?
Yeah, so it all goes into we're adding value to the network. This isn't used for me to like pay for salaries or anything. Um, every dollar that goes in is utilized, is added to a universal liquidity pool that can be used from dexes, marketplaces, agents, and so that's all we're building up. So it's all tranched out. So currently, like you can see right now, like if you come in on Solana, it's the price of the wire token is at 48 cents. It's actually a discount right now to come in on the Ethereum side. So the Ethereum side is only 42 cents. So we're kind of like they're battling each other. It's like an arbitrage opportunity for our LCO.
That's so interesting. I mean, they've both been going downhill for the last month, but I'm maybe it's just best to just start buying wire and counter the downside with that.
And well, this started at 30 cents in January, so like it continues to move up, and we're starting to see more and more, people come in. So as Ethereum and as Solana and as everything else has gone down, like, what the wire token has stepped up in this LCO process, and it's going to continue to do so. If you go back to the top of the page, you're going to see like the escalation curve, of where we're at. Wild. And so as more liquidity comes in, it actually the price of wire increases into the launch. So we're still at the low end of where this could be as we do mainnet launch and TGE.
Yeah, no, and it's a long-term sustainability, right? With the LCO model, instead of vesting and tokens for the team, it all goes down. It all goes together into a bigger liquidity pool, so everybody benefits from that as well.
Exactly. This is a long-term view. Like we've solved it, like the problem of the interoperability in a trustless and decentralized way, and in this new financial control plane. Think of it like the Visa network. Like you had banks for a while, and then you had retail, and then you only had cash. And then what people realized was a new control plane, a new layer needed to be added in between, and that was the credit and debit card system. And so like the Visa network. And once that came in, it handled the settlement of, you didn't have to go get cash anymore, right? And then an even better benefit was you could go overseas. You could go to Germany, you could go to Japan, you could go to Australia, and you could just swipe your card and it auto-converted and did the settlement. It's the same thing in this new world. Like instead of banks everywhere, it's networks. Like you have Solana, you have Ethereum, you have all these where these assets are held. And then you have the dApps that are built on all these different like countries, right? And you need a new financial control plane that handles all of that settlement. And that's what Wire's universal transaction layer does.
Yeah, now you also have the AI agents transacting for you, and that's a whole other level at scale, right? You guys are focusing a lot of our efforts on the agentic economy. For people that are not too tech savvy or like advanced in how everything works with AI agents currently and forward, I mean, I think one of their main fears is losing all of their money as soon as they allow them to transact with their own funds. How could that be prevented with Wire Network? Ideally, it's a very efficient model, and the AI agent just does everything for you. But how does it look like for anyone trying to understand it a little bit better?
Yeah, so agents are not the same as humans, obviously. And so with agents, they're going to have strict requirements. Like what they want to do is, it's like how fast, how cheap, how secure, and how certain can I be that this transaction is going to go through. Like they're doing those requirements before they ever execute. And So when we built Wires UTL, this, again, we started in 2020. Like, we were building it for humans, right? We're like, how do we
Yeah, of course.
solve interoperability? And then like 2023 came around, and we're like, oh, this is, agents are going to be a thing here in the future. Like, right at the beginning, it was just LLMs, right? But we already knew like what the next levels were going to be. Mm-hmm. And it was like, they're going to have requirements. And it just so happens that our UTL is the exact requirements, because we have execution certainty. So it either executes or it returns. In a bridging environment, I'm sure if anyone uses a bridge, like, one, it takes a while, and two, sometimes your transaction gets stuck, right? Like, the money gets stuck, and then you have to go figure out like what part of the process like it got stuck in. Mm-hmm. That is not how it's going to be with the UTL. You either know that it gets home to where it's trying to go, or it recovers back to your wallet. So it's AB. And so an agent is going to love that, along with the security. Like, you don't have to trust Wire for interoperability. Like, you have to trust layer 0. You have to trust Chainlink CCIP. And we've seen what trust does. Like, billions of dollars have been hacked. If you have a trustless interoperability, like, it's the code, it's not the humans. And so these agents are just going to naturally, once this is available, if they have the choice, they're naturally going to pick Wires UTL versus any other, service to execute their transaction.
Yeah, with the security as well, and like the binary decision making, right? If it either works or it doesn't work, and there's no risk of getting hacked, because you'll be hacking the network, not the bridge or the DeFi protocol, right? So it's a huge advantage and difference. Yeah. Yeah, it's paradise for AI agents. I mean, it's just yes or no in execution.
You don't have to worry about what gas fee. You don't have to worry about what gas token. Like, for these agents, like, they're going to be high frequency traders, right? Like, one of the decentralized AI companies that we work for, or that is partnered with us, one of the leaders of that, he participates in DeFi as a human, and so he gives himself the prompt of, how do I get the most yield per day? And he'll go and do DeFi activities, and he does about 5 transactions per day. He set up his agent, and he gave it the same prompt, like, go give me the same, like, the highest yield you can.
That's one, yeah.
It does 200 transactions per day. So the same prompt given to himself and given to his AI agent is a 40x difference in on-chain transactions. And so we're going to see that across the board. Like, once these agents they can trade 24/7. And once you remove the risk, once you take transaction fees down to fractions of a penny to be able to do these cross-chain mechanisms, once it doesn't take, multiple seconds to minutes to actually perform a cross-chain transaction, once it's like instant, the amount of transactions these agents are going to do are just going to go through the roof, and Wire network and the UTL will be there for them.
Yeah, I mean, 40x at the beginning, no? Like, and then they will optimize and make the process more efficient, and then find other ways and other processes to even grow or scale. Or if you prompt them to find the best yield, they will find other ways of even more. That's the ideal scenario, right? But
like,
yeah, so
what if they're an Ethereum agent, and where they start out as an Ethereum agent or Solana agent, and like, there's an arbitrage or yield opportunity on Cardano. Like, how do you get there? You can't right now. That'll be an opportunity. So they're just going to be flying across chain, doing all these transactions, maximizing yield. It's going to be wild to see.
Yeah, no, or if they breach and then it doesn't work, I'm sure like the agent will just like crack the whole system, just disruptive. But yeah, it's so. I mean, the humans will become the bottlenecks. It's so interesting, but also scary. Like, the more you get on the way, eventually, the more disruptive the process and the more problems you're going to cause to your AI agent. So, oh man, we're getting into a very interesting time. But yeah, exciting for sure. Sheesh, we're almost on time. we talked already about just a couple more questions on the getting involved part. You mentioned the token and the liquidity as well.
Yeah.
Are you guys, how big? You mentioned the team as well. Are you guys still hiring? Capable, talented members from the community or from outside that could be interested in applying and being part of the vision and what you guys are building at the moment?
Yeah, so we already have a large team. This is a legit company. Like we're pushing 30 employees between full time and contractor. So this has been a big undertaking to solve interoperability. You know, it takes a village to get there. So, but yeah, there's more there's more opportunity. We're definitely always hiring very talented individuals. So even from the website, if it's somebody who wants to be able to participate, then they could just hit the contact us and reach out, and we'll set up interviews and see if there's a fit.
Yeah, the get early access takes you to here. To anyone listening and when it might be interesting in being part of the movement, you just share your email and the team can contact you or follow on socials as well. You guys are very present as well in IRL events, in the NY Tech Meetup, in the introduction.com events. Have you met recently any people that you've hired in these events, or is mainly for networking and scaling and partnerships?
It's mainly network and partnerships right now. Like we're in our launch phase, so that's the priority for me. We have brought people on here just in the last few months, so it's not that we're not doing that, but it is like there's a sequence that needs to happen, and so depending on their expertise, if it's something that we need immediate versus long term, we're going to get through and launch this thing properly, and then start assessing like what are the phase 2 needs from a development standpoint.
Yeah, no, of course. And you guys are getting so close to mainnet. One of the questions that I wanted to ask, what key milestones are you most excited about? I'm sure the obvious answer is mainnet, but anything else that you're really looking forward to and the team is excited about as well within the month or before the year closes?
Yeah, imagine a 5.5-year development cycle. It's unheard of, right? Like I had hair as dark as yours when I started this thing. Like, it's been such a challenge.
It's been a lifetime
to get there. But in my opinion, it was always the holy grail.
Yep.
Right? Like it was the hardest problem to solve. Everyone's tried to solve it. You have to, this is coming back to Kyle, and my co-founder and my team. You can't just throw money at it. You can't just throw warm bodies. It takes the right previous experience. It takes a lot of grit and determination. Like we had to go figure things out, like reverse engineer a few things, do some guesstimations and see how that played out. Like we just didn't, it was never a clear path to how to solve it, how to make the UTL function, the best way. Like it was a lot of tweaks and modifications over the years, and that's what took so long. But we finally got there, to where a product that would, go all the way through to finality in a great way. And so, getting to mainnet is such an achievement for us. It's going to be such an unlock for the industry. Like there's not very many times this industry has like a quantum leap in functionality. It's been very few. Like obviously Bitcoin was a great, leap into this industry. Ethereum with smart contracts was, a leap into this industry. When Uniswap came out and automated market making, like that was a great innovation, right? And then, even with what like Hyperliquid, like people have moved the ball forward. What we've done is the next big leap in infrastructure and technology in this industry. And so once this goes out, it's just going to be an unlock for all these dApps and companies. And we're going to see great products being developed from the puzzle piece that we're placing on the board.
Yeah, no, it truly is a before and after when you guys launch, because it changes everything and it makes everyone's lives easier, which is what we all want: faster, less cost with zero gas fees, all of these extra benefits that people are looking for, and it makes the transition way easier than just a referral of a friend asking you to join. Like, if the transition
Yeah.
should sounds inevitable, pretty much. So, but yeah, again, congrats on the journey. I know it's been tough. You guys have been very relentless, and that side of like meaning of like that meaningfulness of fulfilling the purpose is uncanny, right? So glad to get to see you guys being at the finish line and ready to push forward for the next phase. So super
Yeah.
excited.
The biggest, for everyone that's listening, the biggest question you're going to be asking yourself is, what wallet do I want to use? Because you're only going to need one.
Yeah.
Like, in my browser, I have like 9 wallets on
man.
every type of network. That
Horrible.
goes away. You're gonna be, the question you'll ask yourself is, what's my favorite wallet that has the best user interface?
Yep.
And then once you pick that wallet, you're going to be able to enable that to be universal. And then once you have a universal wallet, then you can interact with any dApp in a universal way. So now all the marketplaces, all the dexes, they all become universal to you. And then the agents will become universal. You don't have to, like right now, like, agents are built on Base, right? Or they're built on Solana. It's not going to matter. Like, it doesn't matter where they're built from. It matters where they transact. And they're all going to be universal agents in Wire's universal transaction layer. And so you're just going to pick one and be able to move forward. And it's going to be a silky smooth experience, finally, in our industry.
Literally the dream. Like, we've all been waiting for that as well. And it also encourages many new people that have not been onboarded into crypto into way easier now to just adopt crypto with one wallet. And I mean, yeah, everyone was, when I was telling to my friends or my neighbors, like, yeah, you need this token and that token and this wallet, they were like, dude, forget it, forget about it. So simpler than ever with one universal wallet that can do everything. It's a massive game changer. And yeah, just one last question before we close. For people that have big ambitions and big plans in the audience or in general, what will be your best advice for anyone that wants to start something big but doesn't know how to? Your best advice for builders?
Yeah, well, our testnet's live, so you can go in there and play around. And I'll say, like, while we're going to make everything universal, and it's reverse compatible, that doesn't mean that you can't create a better experience if you build directly on Wire. So, if there's a DEX or a wallet or a swap or anything that's a marketplace that's already out there, like, yes, we will be able to make that universal. But if you want to build a marketplace, a DEX and everything on Wire, you're going to be able to have a leg up on the usability of the UTL. And so there's a company called Wire Up right now that's building the wallet. It's a universal wallet, agent functionality in there. But others who want to build a marketplace, that want to build a DEX, like, all of those are everything that the industry currently has. Like, you can come in while we're, a little bit under the radar as we're gearing up the launch, and you could start building that product that could be, that could have like the best functionality and kind of get anointed as we launch. And so I think there's quite the opportunity for builders right now to come in early and get their footing before the entire industry catches up and understands, what's about to happen.
Man, yeah, we are in a crucial point in time. I can't wait to be 5 years forward and going back to this podcast like I had Ken before they launched on the show. So I'm going to brag about that in IRL events and to my family later.
I appreciate the opportunity. Very kind of you.
It's been a great show. I've been so happy. It's been one of the most interesting shows for sure. Any last comments? Anything you think that we missed? I think we covered a lot or most of it. But if anything, any last comments, feel free before we close the show.
No, just participate. Like, this is early. Again, this is one of the most breakthrough technologies of our industry. There's still time to get in before we launch and before, the economics of everything start taking hold and get realized. So, being able to get a node, get some wire token, get on the test net, start building, all those things are going to have tremendous value to you in the future. So I encourage everyone to do so.
Awesome. Yeah, no, being early always has its perks. This is the time to do it. The best other time was yesterday. For anyone listening, we have many builders on the audience as well. So yeah, get involved, participate as Ken was just saying. And yeah, follow through with their socials and everything that they're building. It's gonna get extremely excited. Ken, it's been a pleasure. Thanks again for everything. For everyone as well in the audience that tune in at the beginning, at the middle, or at the end, that we'll be sharing clips as well for easier consumption and people that don't have the attention span for an hour. But thank you everyone that was here. Thank you, Ken, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you.